Hello everyone, Andrew here, welcoming you back to Donkey Kong Country 2: The Lost Levels. Last time we took care of the first three, and Diddy has been beating everything lately, so maybe this time we'll try and give Dixie some time to shine in Hidden Harbour. Once again, this was originally an underwater level. So once again we get an underwater level, but I promise that in the next world things are going to be shaking up a bit. Obviously, since that's where we can't take the spider, it implies that to the left there are probably some spider shenanigans going on. So let us go and investigate that. I remember the original Donkey Kong Country Returns actually I don't think had any water levels, which was like a really weird decision that they made. But Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze did, which was very cool. Speaking of the Donkey Kong Country Return games, it's really interesting. Like, why do they never bring K. Rool back for any of those? I remember I always thought, yeah, here we have a bonus game, so this was kind of like a side path, and we got a red zinger up there. I remember I always thought that maybe K. Rool wasn't the villain in any of the Donkey Kong Country Return games because of something to do with, like, Rare. But then, there he is, finally showing up in... Whoa, I wasn't sure where I was going down there. This feels more like a defeat all the enemies bonus game than it was, just to find the token. But, oh well, I guess I won't complain too much about that. Yeah, I always thought that it was Rare's fault that K. Rool was kind of, missing in action. We're totally going to go back and see what's on the other side of that red zinger now that we have, Squitter here to help us out, if we stop falling into barrels. But yeah, there he is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, considering that there is no kind of problem with him appearing in Nintendo games, it would be really neat if they did another Donkey Kong Country game where he came back. I know that, I think Retro Studios was saying... Okay, not sure if that's because we're playing it on real hardware, or if that's just because, what I was talking about is ROM hacks always shoving way too many enemies on the screen. But yeah. Hopefully, one day, we'll see K. Rool as a guy in a game. But I can't complain too much about how Retro Studios... Well, there goes that guy, although I think we're actually just about to get him back anyway, so absolutely nothing was lost. Yeah, but Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze are still quite fun. And, it's definitely not impossible that, I'll ever play them someday. But I thought that this would definitely be something that, it almost does feel like the true successor to the Super Nintendo games, because I do question some of the changes that they made in the Wii and Wii U ones. But, I mean, they're still fun games, to be sure. But here we have kind of, considering this is supposed to be a water level, there actually hasn't been very much of it. I think we do eventually get some coming up down here, though, although I do think we have a DK coin we need to be on the lookout for. I also believe that this level only has one bonus game, just as the original level did. So I don't think we have too much more to look for. Yes, gotta be careful. A little bit of a maze going on here, but we found that second DK coin. Or no, not the second DK coin, the DK coin hidden in this level. The second item of this level, technically, I suppose, without any problems. I do notice that the hack creator definitely likes these guys who, bump into you and knock your bananas all over the place. I guess if I was creating a hack and, wanted things to be more difficult, doing that would be one way to do it. Also, your geometry detection down there. I'm not sure why we just flung through the ceiling. Also, as you've probably noticed, there are different colors of zingers in this hack compared to what you normally get in the original Donkey Kong Country 2, where there are just yellow and red. I believe that the colors have something to do with the directions that they move, similar to how Donkey Kong Country 1 zingers worked, where different colors meant, one would go in a loop, and one would just go back and forth, and one wouldn't move. So I do think it's cool that there are some different... versions of zingers out there now. I think, of course, as in the original game, the red ones cannot be killed. I don't even know if they can be killed with dynamite. I know that in Donkey Kong Country 3, the red, saw blade zingers can be. This is kind of a, a useless area, a treasure chest cut in half. I think that one time I actually went too low down here and got stuck, so we're going to avoid doing that. But yeah, I don't think that in Donkey Kong Country 2, red zingers even get killed from TNT. Not that I can really think of a situation in Donkey Kong Country 2 where there are TNT and red zingers together. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that during the duration of this ROM hack to see if we encounter it. And we also have some nice glitching happening at the bottom of the screen. I guess we technically probably could have swam under the level and cheated a bit. Can we do that here? Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to do that, but we totally did it anyway. Not sure why the guy wouldn't have made sure that there was flora all along the bottom, because it's definitely not something you can do in the original game. Kind of just swim off into oblivion underneath the world, but we're doing it in this game, and that's just part of the fun of ROM hacks. I think is seeing how people interpret the games, for themselves, rather than, always playing exactly how it was perfectly perfected by Rare itself. Now, I'm not sure why there was a banana there. I believe that confused me when I played this the first time too. Also, the item has disappeared. That's kind of funny, but can we still do this? I guess we didn't get an item, but and Diddy beat it again! Darn it, I had promised to give Dixie some time to shine. Definitely in Manic, Mast, Blast. Now, on this level, there is no exclamation mark beside the name, although I believe that is an unfortunate glitch. I remember I went back and I just looked all over the place for a second bonus game, although I think that for whatever reason, it is not just showing up at the moment, but will eventually show up as we progress through the game. I'm pretty sure. Anyone who else, if there is actually someone watching this who has played this before and knows otherwise, and you want to point that out, maybe where I missed it, please feel free. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure that exclamation mark will just, pop up at some point. So, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, we have Manic, Mast, Blast, and this is, just as it was in the original game, a rigging level, although this one is blue skies, as the original one was in the original game. We got to be careful for zingers going on here. We have, obviously, some more barrel shenanigans in that banana, indicating that there is a secret over to the left. Find the token. But yeah, I'm just really impressed with how, when there's secrets hidden in this game, I definitely feel like, yes, that is how, it reminds me of how secrets were hidden in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. I mean, I guess Donkey Kong Country 1 as well, except there was no bonus coins to be gotten in that game. But yeah, it's definitely, the person who made this had also played their Donkey Kong Country trilogy and really knew just how to hide things properly. So kudos to them. If they ever see this ROM hack, 2 big thumbs up for the work that they did. It's got barrels going on all over the place. I'm trying to think of in Donkey Kong Country 2, if there were really ever points where it was just like, use barrels. Oh yes, of course, Bramble Blast. That's kind of, it was always the Bramble levels where barrels really came into play, but not too many times else. Donkey Kong Country 1 was definitely the king of having segments where you needed to, time your barrel shots correctly. But I don't think that there was nearly as much of that in the later 2 games. Man, just losing my ability to talk. Again, this is my first Let's Play in a while. Hopefully you are enjoying it. I know that so many people supported me in my original Donkey Kong Country 3 Let's Plays. My original 3 Donkey Kong Country Let's Plays. So this is definitely, for all of you out there who just love watching me play Donkey Kong Country so much, I think that, this, if anything, is probably even more interesting than if I played Donkey Kong Country Returns. But again, that's definitely something that's on my maybe list someday. I'm not really sure why the decision was made to not have, the 2 partners, operate like they do in, this game, where instead Diddy just acts as, extra health. But I guess he gives the jetpack too. And also on the Wii, it's too bad that there wasn't an option to use the classic controller or a GameCube controller, because it's definitely annoying having to, shake the controller in order to roll. Although I think that there actually is a hack that can fix that as well, which if I ever do play it for a Let's Play, I would definitely look into doing that. Wonder what's going on here. I mean, obviously we just made it to the end, although at the same time, it's almost like, okay, that's where we go. That's kind of interesting. And I think that the DK coin, the DK coin was there until it magically disappeared. I think we're going to have to go back into the bonus game again if we want to get the DK coin. That's very odd. It's interesting because, of course, Retro Studios made the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, although they haven't really been up too much as of late. I know that there was a lot of speculation that they were working on Metroid Prime 4 before it was announced that they actually weren't working on it, but then when it caught fire, they kind of took over the project. So I wonder what exactly they've been up to if they weren't working on Metroid Prime 4 before that. With that said though, all 5 DK coins in the first world have now been collected, and all that we have left is the boss. And the bosses in this game aren't really changed too drastically. Well, I guess we have to talk to Funky first. Totally gonna pay him to fly absolutely nowhere, but of course once you pay for Funky's flights, you don't have to pay for it ever again, so it's good to get that kind of thing out of the way. As we go to Krow's Nest. where, if I'm not mistaken, I think that there's still probably some coins hidden up in the nest that we're going to get. So we're not going to forget to do that, but although we're probably going to be turning it off soon anyway, so everything's just going to get totally deleted. Also, the shaking from hitting the nest is actually still going on, which I'm pretty sure is different from the original game where it stops. Also, I actually think that we beat a level with Diddy Kong again, now thinking about it. I'm talking too much about Donkey Kong Country Returns and, you know, Retro Studios missing in action. We're totally not giving Dixie her time to shine, but next video for sure. You know, the next world will be all about Dixie, unless I forget again, but hopefully not. It's actually interesting that I've been using Diddy Kong a lot, considering Dixie is probably, you know, the more useful one, but I think that's more a habit of me putting Diddy Kong in front, because if he gets hit, then at least I have Dixie Kong to still use, where, you know, Diddy is kind of a meat shield, so if, you know, if that's any kind of consolation, Dixie, you know, hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better as for why you're not being used. Well, I think one more hit, and that should take care of this. The most difficult part of this battle now is the, you know, the random hole that's kind of placed in the stage. Well, we're kind of actually standing on top of right now. I was about to make a comment asking what happens if you fall down, you know, fall down it after you've already won, but I wonder if it's like Super Mario World, where if you fall after hitting the gold tape, you still lose. So I think that we've collected every single thing in this world, with the exception of, well, I was going to say with the exception of, but we actually did, I believe, collect every single bonus coin in Hidden Harbour. However, I think that exclamation mark will show up later, so we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. With that said, though, I think we're going to end this off by saving with Wrinkly Kong, who, once again, all of her tips, just like Cranky's, are the same as the ones in the original game, so they're actually absolutely no help to us because those levels do not even exist anymore. 20 minutes, 13, and 5 for a total of 15%. Wow, 2 parts in, and we're already moving on up. So with that said, thank you very much for everyone for watching. Hope that you've enjoyed now part 2 of Donkey Kong Country 2: The Lost Levels, and next time we will begin tackling World 2, where I promise that things are definitely going to get you know, mixed up a lot more compared to how they were in the original game, and it's only going to pick up from there, you know, with the differences, new enemies, new kind of tricks, all sorts of things. So hope you're looking forward to that. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time for more. So thanks, and see you later.